There are many aspects of motherhood that reflect the characteristics of God. And although God reveals himself in Scripture in masculine terms, Scripture also tells us that in his image we were all made, male and female. We were created in his image. And as a woman, as a mother, we get the unique opportunity to reflect some of those characteristics of God to our children in ways that maybe other people can't or aren't as able to. I'm not just talking about the moments in Scripture when we hear the heart of God towards his people, like in Isaiah 66:4, where it says, "For when I called, no one answered, and when I spoke, no one listened. They did evil in my sight and chose what displeases me." Although sometimes this might sum up how we may feel about motherhood, I'm talking more about the sacrificial love of motherhood, that is increasingly more countercultural every day, and that seems almost distasteful to some. From the moment of conception, it's obvious that we who carry life are not our own. Some of us may experience symptoms before we even know there's a baby. These symptoms aren't glamorous, like nausea, vomiting, frequent trips to the bathroom, congestion, and so forth. And as we near our due dates, it becomes more and more obvious that something very serious and very severe is going to be happening to us very soon. Something which we will carry the emotional and physical scars of for the rest of our lives as we become more stretched beyond what we knew we could handle before we became pregnant, all for the sake of new life. And then these tiny humans on whom our image is imprinted grow into larger ones. And as they do so, more of our own personal ambitions and dreams seem to be sidelined or reordered and sometimes even forsaken for the sake of their dreams and their future and their potential, some dreams of which they have not even dreamt up yet. From the moment that we realize we are becoming mothers, we become markedly different. We would do anything, go through anything for our babies. We would give up anything for them. This is a tiny yet profound reflection of the love that Jesus displayed for us. Like he said in Luke 22:19, "This is my body broken for you." And like is reflected about his sacrifice in Hebrews 12:2, "For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame." Although the culture that Jesus was in viewed the way he died as shameful, Jesus willingly gave up his rights as God, his power to rescue himself, and his reputation for each one of us. He knew that the only way to give us new life was to stretch out his arms and suffer excruciating pain and humiliation so that we might have new life. And he considered it pure joy. Moms, think back to that moment when you first met your newborn. Although you had just experienced so much pain, maybe blood, maybe sweat, maybe tears were involved in the circumstance. But that second that you meet your newborn, that you cradle that baby in your arms, all of the pain and humiliation becomes worth it and then some for the joy of this new life in your arms. Moms, we sacrifice our bodies and our future for our children. And they may never understand the extent to what we went through and gave up for them. But we get the privilege and the honor of being the very first example of Christ-like love to them. And we get to be a continual reminder of that to them throughout their lives, of Jesus' sacrifice on their behalf. We only do this best when we stay tethered to Jesus. Let your experiences in motherhood, your pain and your sacrifice, your joy and happiness in motherhood always lead you back to the cross. When you feel discouraged by the endless demands and the bottomless needs of your family, remember that it pales in comparison to the sacrifice of Jesus and the compassion that he continues to show us, though we can't yet fully understand the extent of all he has done for us. Let Jesus continue to lead you and guide you as you live out your call of motherhood.